Hi. And so this week I decided to study the book of Psalms, 121. I it was very it was a very fun Psalms to be able to really be able to pray about, study about throughout this week. And so one of the things that really stood out to me is, who is our helper? And And I think it's so easy in life to just be able to go into life and just try to lean onto our own understanding, try to do things the way that we want to do things. But um, all throughout scripture, it's as clear as daylight where if we're to turn to God, God is the one who will just bring us, deliver us from any season, any point in our life. One of the unique things that I've learned since I've started walking with Christ is that He won't let us fall. And I like to use the terminology of climbing a mountain or climbing up even on a hike, and you s- you're on a hike and you start to you're climbing and you look down and it's like, wow, that's scary, but you have that gear. You have that gear, even that extra protection to keep you from falling. And when we look into our own lives, and when we look at what God does in our lives, and even throughout Scripture, He doesn't let the ones close to Him fall. Those who are abiding in Him, those who are submitted to Him, and our confidence should only be in God, and that should be the biggest focus that we do from the time we wake up to the time we go to sleep. And even if you're dreaming um, about just abiding with God, a person we could climb we could go climb a mountain on our own for our own intentions, for our own understanding, or even in a storm, we could lean on our own understanding. But we might come out a worse person, or come out a changed person in a not in a good way. And it's the thing is like where you could go climb a mountain and you still could be nowhere in life. It may still feel like you have no purpose at all. And Psalms 121 verse 3, he will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. And that's just so encouraging that God is constantly watching over us, especially His children, because He loves His children so much, and He also loves the lost. But I think that so many just feel that, well, they may have done this, they did this, or because I've been in that boat where I felt that I wasn't worthy enough for Him. But He's there, and He loves us, and He wants us to turn to Him, and He won't let us fall. And one of the even throughout seasons, and I'm really working on trying to apply it into my personal relationships in life, my professional relationships at work, and um, in my daily life, just being there with God and having God, just trusting that this is what God is telling me to do. And if it's something where I feel like I have to stop and really ask, I try to do that. And in Psalms 121, verse 5 and 6, the Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade, your your right hand at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. With what I gathered is that God is always near for protection. God is ready to give success to His children, and And also, I found that Psalms 1 verse 6 ties in with this, and I thought that this went really well. Was for the Lord watches over the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked leads to destruction. And I can only speak in my own life when I tried to do things the way that I thought that I should do things. It just seems like it's just destruction. Or when I've responded in situations, it's created more hurt. And instead of trying to have that mindset of, how should I answer in this certain time. And so um and at the end of the Psalms, the Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore. When we walk with God, He'll protect us at all times. It's not a conditional, it's not a conditional, it's not a conditional time, or it's not a conditional times where he's just watching us, but he's always watching us, and he always wants to protect us. And then God always wants, and that's one of the things that I think could be one of the most encouraging, is just to be able to have the understanding of that God is here for us.